Welcome back to another episode of Never Been Bulked. Today's episode is a nice short one, and it's just how to take the sports bar off of a Series 5 NP300 so you can run something cool like these tub racks. So we'll jump straight into it. It is a bit different to the Series 4 and previous. They've decided to make it way harder than it needed to be, so I'll show you how to do it. Right, now to remove the sports bar, it's quite a bit of a pain. Bit of an interesting design, not the smartest, but pretty much what we're going to do is there's a bolt in behind here, 4 bolts there, and a bolt up the top here. So these brackets won't be able to come out because of their shape, so there's another bolt up underneath these. So pretty much undo these, undo all of these. I've got to take this entire rail out, because to be able to get to that bolt you've got to take your liner out. So you can sort of flex it around, but if you undo any of the bolts, they have a steel washer and a plastic washer that will drop down behind your tub liner. So pretty much we'll remove the entire rail, then we can take out the plastic liner. I think there's also a clip at the back and your tie down point. So we'll take all that out, remove the liner, and that should come off. On this side there is your brake light wire, which does run down the side along your chassis and to sort of 3/4 of the way back. So we'll get that out and unplug it, and so I'll start with this one and show you what we're doing. We've also, the tools you'll need is a 40 star drive and a 50 star drive. You can use Allen key ones or impact ones, and I think that's probably about it, but we'll see how we go. Now the cable for the sports bar tail light is a bit of an interesting one. It comes out the back of the sports bar, along the tub, to the front, down, through past the fuel filler and along the chassis rail. Now simply cut all the zip ties holding the cable in underneath. There should be 2 on the fuel filler neck and 2 along the chassis rail, and then just a white plastic clip at the back of the wheel arch. Once that's unclipped, pull it all the way through back to the fuel filler neck, and that's where it gets a bit interesting. From there, we have to cut the end of the cable off. You can stagger the cuts to make it easier to join back on if you ever want to join it back on neatly, but the actual plug end is too large to fit through the tub, and you can't pull it through without cutting it off. Right, now it's now time to put all the inside back together. First things first, you're going to want to put all your bolts and spacers back on the tie-down rails, drop the plastic in, and then screw it on. So you'll have your M8 bolt, the thick washer, and then it goes through your aluminium tie-down rail, then the thin washer, and then your plastic washer on the outside. So the plastic washer on the outside will just actually stop the thin washer from falling off down in behind the tub liner side once you hold it all up. When it gets to where the sports bar was, it gets a bit trickier. So they have these 6mm spacer brackets on each of them, but the sports bar bracket is the spacer for these ones, which gives you a 6mm gap effectively. So what I'm going to do is use M8 flat washers. I've got 4 of them stacked up for each. We'll take up that 6mm gap where one of these should be. You can take all of the spacers out from the other ones, and it'll get pretty close to doing up. It will leave you a few mil gaps, so they could rattle out. You can probably use a Loctite or something might help, but for the sake of just having it all done up firm, I'll use some washers in behind. So we get stuck into it. Yeah, screw them all on here, put the sides in, screw them on the sides, so we get stuck into it. Rightio, so one last thing is to get the rear tail light to work, you need to take out a bypass harness. So to get that, you need to take this kick panel off and then the front panel as well. And there's a couple of little wires there and white plug at each end, about 100 mil of cable. Take that out, plug it back together, and your rear tail light should then work. So then you can keep it or get rid of that little bypass harness and should all work like new. So it gets taken, it gets the harness put in there at the start so that your original cab light doesn't reflect off of the stainless sports bar. But I'm also gonna leave mine in there because I'm planning on doing a tray canopy eventually, and the tub rack and tent are gonna be in the way of it anyway. So I'll leave it in there for now, but yeah, for those of you who do want to take it out and get that third tail light to work, yeah, in behind there, tiny little harness, pull it out, plug the other two cords back together without that in the middle, and she's all sweet, good to go. So now we've got the sports bar all off, we've gone ahead and put the tub racks on. So if you're interested in seeing how we make the tub racks so you can make your own at home, jump on to the next episode, hopefully be up next week, and you'll be able to see us make these tub racks. So follow along, and hopefully more to come on the build.